Hello and thank you for joining us here on the floor of the New York Stock Exchange for this week's Floor Report. Today is Thursday, October 18th. I'm Rebecca Darst from the Market Access Center desk here on the floor. We wobbled a little bit over the noon hour following the abrupt intraday release of some tech sector earnings, so we're down just about 4 points in the Dow and just over 3 S&P points. So let's recap what got us here earlier today. Stocks in the Asia-Pacific region were higher across the board overnight, helped along by better than expected data points out of China. Q3 GDP for China came in at 7.4% year over year. This follows an increase of 7.6% for the previous quarter, and while it's a sequential slowdown, it was solidly in line with street expectations. So the Shanghai Composite rallied solidly in the absence of any disappointment. A couple of other key data points out of China. Retail sales and industrial production came in well ahead of expectations, and that aided the upside. Interestingly, many Far East currencies declined on the China GDP figure, with the Japanese yen declining against the dollar for a sixth straight session, its longest downside streak since April 2011. This was a tremendous boon to Japanese exporters in today's session. Moving on to Europe, we had major indices across the continent trading in mixed territory. Spain successfully auctioned off a total of 4.6 billion euros of 3-, 4-, and 10-year debt early this morning, having targeted at most 4.5 billion. Yields on the Spanish 10-year note dropped 5 basis points to its lowest read in half a year, capping off 3 straight days of gains for Spanish 10-year debt. In a Moody's rating update yesterday, Spain was able to hold on to its investment-grade credit rating one step above junk, which likely helped matters. We also have a 2-day European summit in Brussels that kicked off today. This coincided with a fresh 2-year low in the price of German 5-year credit default swaps in a show of market confidence in the German economy. Moving on to these shores, we had a slew of mixed earnings report out before the bell. 20% of S&P companies have reported earnings as of today, with about 60% beating on EPS. But futures hit pre-market lows following the release of weekly jobless claims data, which came out at 388,000 new claims. The street was looking for 360, although continuing claims dropped to 3.25 million from a prior read of 3.28 million. Later in the morning, however, we had Philadelphia area manufacturing data for October showing the first gain in half a year compared to a prior Philly Fed reading of negative 1.9 for September. October's index reading came in at 5.7. Analyst consensus called for a gain of around 1, so there are some divergent reads on the macroeconomic data front today. We drifted moderately higher into the noon hour before losing some ground after quarterly earnings from a tech bellwether that was due to report after the bell appears to have hit the wires ahead of schedule. This big number missed to the downside, and that has put some pressure on the major averages. Bear in mind, we're heading into an options expiration tomorrow. October options are going off the board at the end of the day in an event that looks set to affect just about 20% of the total open interest in listed names. We'll be looking for the possibility for elevated option volumes across the board tomorrow. In terms of individual movers in the options market, we mentioned in the midday today that we've been seeing some November bulls active in the Gold Trust Spider. That's ticker GLD. It's correlated to the price of gold. The underlying is trading right around $169, and we're seeing block size buyers of near-term calls at the 190 level in the November contract. That will be the front month as of Monday morning. So there's lots to watch in connection with tomorrow's expiration. We'll be tracking events as they happen on the Mac desk, so be sure to watch your inbox for the midday. For now, that's it for me, Rebecca Darst from the New York Stock Exchange and the Mac Desk Floor Report.